What's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports. And coming up on today's show, we got a salary cap update around your Minnesota Vikings and also NFL insider Diana Rossini had her thoughts on the Kyler Murray Minnesota Vikings rumors. And finally, Vikings fans got some great news on a potential Jonathan Greenard trade that we'll dive into on the tail half of today's show. But free agency begins tomorrow, and I cannot wait. And we will be live here on the channel for majority of the day. So if you guys are on YouTube trying to find some more Vikings NFL content, join in the live show, hop in the live chat, hang out with us. We'll be live at 10 a.m. Central tomorrow. And if you guys are fired up, just give me those skulls down below. Should be a big next couple of days for your Minnesota Vikings. We're going to start off today's show by talking about how the Vikings have completely flipped their books for 2026. Because heading into NFL free agency, before the Vikings made any moves, they were $45 million over the cap. So clearly a lot needed to be done. And they started off by restructuring three of the marquee players on this team. Now, that was Justin Jefferson. He had a big cap hit for next season, restructured his contract. Same with Byron Murphy Jr. and Christian Darrisaw. Now, these three restructures clears up around $35 million. Now, Justin Jefferson, his was, I think, $18 million of this. And Byron Murphy was, I believe, $11 million. Then the rest was Christian Darrisaw. But right there, got them to about $10 million over the cap. And then they also made three cuts, that being Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen, and Aaron Jones. And that cleared up around $25 million. So you had the 35 from the restructures, 25 from the cuts, and that got the Vikings above the cap in a place where at least they felt comfortable making some signings here in free agency. And the only one that I thought was a shocker out of these three was Jonathan Allen, considering he also had a $17 million dead cap hit. So that brought the total money for dead cap for 2026 for the Minnesota Vikings at around $45 million. So that one was the only big shocker to me. But still, you're able to clear up $25 million with these three guys. And then also, you save money here on two fronts. One, Ryan Kelly retiring, saved about $10 million. T.J. Hockenson, his restructure / pay cut, freed up around $5 million. Now, obviously, Ryan Kelly retirement, that put a massive hole for the Vikings at the center position. But the Hawk restructure, pay cut, I like this move. I don't love it. I would have just flat out cut T.J. Hockenson, make him a post-June 1 designation. You would have saved around $16 million. But again, if you would have done that, you would have opened up a huge hole at tight end, and they felt like Hawk, on the number he was on with him taking $5 million less, that was fair for what he should bring to the team next season. So after all of that, again, a lot of these could be either way $1 million. The Vikings should be sitting at $30+ million in cap space, anywhere between 30 and 35 million. So you want to take about 10 to 12 million for your draft class, but the Vikings do have around $20 million to play around with here in free agency. Now, they could also create a lot more cap space. Now, other moves that could be coming for the Minnesota Vikings. Number one, and we'll talk about this later on, but a Jonathan Greenard trade. That would save the Vikings around $12 million. So then you're clearing up to almost $42 million to spend in free agency. A Jordan Addison trade wouldn't save you that much. That would be more about the Vikings just trying to acquire draft capital. Maybe they don't want to pay Addison long term, so watch out for that move. But also Brian O'Neill extension, he takes that. That clears up $14 million. You got 14 here, 12 here, already at 30. I mean, the Vikings could be at around $55 million in free agency just like that. Now, we'll see if they end up making any of these moves over the next 12-ish hours. But overall in free agency, I don't see the Vikings acquiring any big-ticket NFL free agents. Like, I don't expect them to go out there and get the Tyler Linderbaums or the Devin Lloyds or, like, these top free agents at some top positions of need. I don't think that's going to be the Minnesota Vikings this offseason. They tried to do that last year. They went out and they gave Will Fries, one of the best guards on the market, $88 million. You gave around $100 million between Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen. Then they had to clear off all that money. They have a lot of dead cap, not a lot to spend with, but I do think the Vikings will be very active just trying to nitpick, a corner here or maybe a linebacker here and just overall get more depth on the roster because there are blue chippers on this team, like the Van Ginkels, the Turners, the Darrisaws, Jefferson, Addison. Like, they have a lot of blue chippers on this team. I think they just need more depth, and I think that's what the Vikings are going to do here during free agency. But like I said, we will be live for free agency tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. Would really appreciate if you guys do subscribe and join us. You may not get a push notification for the live, but if it's 10 o'clock and you guys see we're live, just hop in the live chat. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. All right, Diana Rossini was talking about Kyler Murray and the Minnesota Vikings, and she said this. I can tell you from talking to some players there, they want Kyler Murray. Now, I just wonder who are the Vikings players just telling Diana what they want to see this offseason, but maybe this could have been just a practice squad guy or whoever. I really doubt this is Justin Jefferson flat out telling Diana Rossini that he wants Kyler Murray. But if we are just taking the reports, if we are believing it all, everything we are hearing, Paul Allen says Kyler Murray wants to be a Minnesota Viking. Alec Lewis reporting that players want Kyler Murray. Everybody is saying that Kyler Murray will be a Minnesota Viking. So the reports are indicating that. And I'm not saying I think this is going to happen, but there is a chance that this is all a smokescreen, where the Vikings are completely throwing everybody off, where maybe they do have their eyes set on a Geno Smith. Maybe they do have their eyes set on a trade guy potentially, or maybe even like a Malik Willis. Like, who knows? This all could be a smokescreen, and they don't actually want Kyler Murray. But as it stands right now, there is almost like too much smoke. Like, it makes too much sense on paper. The reports are all suggesting it. Even DraftKings has the Vikings at minus 300, the heavy favorite to acquire Kyler Murray. I would probably guess that Kyler Murray is a Viking sometime this week. Now, in terms of Kyler Murray joining the Minnesota Vikings, Kyler Murray on a 1-year, $1.3 million deal is one of the best QB deals in the NFL. You are getting a potential top 15 quarterback in the league for $1.3 million. You got guys like Tua making $50+ million. Even Trevor Lawrence was way better than Kyler Murray. But Kyler on $1.3 million or Trevor Lawrence on $55+ million, I would take the Kyler Murray deal. Now the question becomes, do the Vikings view Kyler as a guy who could play top 15 football next season? If they view that as yes, then try to catch lightning in the bottle. Because you won't have Kyler Murray on this deal the year after if you do find out he is the quarterback for the Vikings for the next couple of seasons. So maybe the Vikings do end up being a little more aggressive if they really do believe in Kyler Murray, try to take advantage of him on that super short and cheap deal. But him on a $1.3 million contract is one of the best QB deals in the NFL. But you guys let me know down below, who do you want as QB1 for the Vikings in 2026? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I want Kyler. He makes too much sense. And it's also the J.J. McCarthy front is just quiet. Like, there is no reporting out there on even him having a chance with this QB competition. So we'll see what happens over the next 72-ish hours. But you guys chime in down below. Who do you want as QB1 for 2026? Now we'll dive into more around Jonathan Greenard here in just a second. But I do want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Factor Meals. Now head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off and use promo code VikingsChat50 off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Now, the cold days are still here, and if you guys have some big-time goals but no time to cook, well, Factor makes healthy eating easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. So eat well without all the planning or cooking, and Factor has quality, functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. They also have no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, no refined seed oils, and meals that fit your goals and schedule. They have over 100 rotating weekend meals to keep things fresh and delicious throughout winter. So head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off. Plug in that promo code, VikingsChat50 off, to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only. Varies by plan, but one free breakfast item per box for 1 year while your subscription is active. Now, this link for you guys will be in the comment section and description of today's show. So we have 3 teams that are reported already making calls on Jonathan Greenard. Now, we also got a report that half the league has called the Minnesota Vikings on Jonathan Greenard, but the 3 teams we know for sure that have called are number 1, the New England Patriots, the Philadelphia Eagles earlier this morning reported by Jeremy Fowler, and then also the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, 3 teams that could use an edge rusher, and Jonathan Greenard on a pretty team-friendly deal. Makes some sense that these 3 teams are calling. Now, why is it great news on a Jonathan Greenard trade front? Well, we saw recently, Friday night, Max Crosby go for 2 first-round picks. Max Crosby was a better player than Jonathan Greenard, but I don't think the difference is Max is worth 2 first-round picks and Jonathan Greenard is worth 1 second-round pick. That is where the asking price should start for the Minnesota Vikings. And I don't think the Vikings will trade Jonathan Greenard unless a team offers a top 50 pick plus more. You have him under team control for the next 2 seasons. you're already cap compliant. Like, if the Vikings wanted to maybe sign some other guys, or maybe they go big fish hunting in free agency or whatever it may be, and they do need to clear up more cap space, then yes, trading Greenard for maybe just a second-round pick makes some sense, but you don't need to trade him. Like, yes, we would want to get more from Dallas Turner next season, but I'm not moving off Jonathan Greenard unless you guarantee me a top 50 pick and then maybe even an early day 3 pick, or a team just flat out offers a first-round pick. Then I would take it, but there's really no incentive for Minnesota now with all the moves they've made for them to want to trade number 58. He's still a hell of a football player. You can still work in Dallas Turner. It's not like they need to move off his contract. If a team gives him the right offer, then I would consider it. But some more trade destinations for Greenard. I think you got the New York Jets. They need an edge rusher. They could be a team that could be calling Kansas City Chiefs if they're trying to stay aggressive here. I mean, they just traded away Trent McDuffie. Maybe they want to use pick 29 to come get Jonathan Greenard. Wouldn't hate that. But also Cincinnati Bengals. Hey, how about Greenard and 2 first-round picks for Joe Burrow? Who says no for that one, Cincinnati? Absolutely joking. That won't happen. That's a pipe dream, but that would be absolutely awesome. Now, if you guys made it to the end, please tune in tomorrow and give me those skulls down below. We'll catch you guys next time. As always, Skull Vikes.